All right, welcome all to the Creating a Terra Workspace video as part of our video series on best practices for workspace organization in Terra. So before setting up a workspace, it's a good practice to first do a little bit of planning to define the purpose, workflow needs, and accessibility of your workspace. This small step can help to avoid a lot of downstream headaches in the long run. For example, you'll want to indicate whether you're creating a workspace that is meant to be for a stable production environment or a workspace that is meant for testing and exploration of either new data types or workflows. Understanding this will also help you define the workflow needs of the workspace. And from there, you can import the appropriate workflows needed for this workspace. Now, of course, this can be done at any time, but importing workflows once you create your workspace can be a good practice to further emphasize the intent of this environment. A third thing to keep in mind is knowing who will need access to this workspace and assigning the appropriate permissions based on each collaborator's role. Again, this is something that can always be modified after creating the workspace, but having this set up when you first create the workspace can save a lot of time and energy in the long run. And with this information, it can be helpful to come up with a clear name for your workspace that helps to convey some of these details. For example, including the word testing or sandbox in a testing workspace can help let others know that this workspace is meant for exploration and not standardized analysis. And one important note that we've covered in previous videos is who can create a workspace in Terra. To create a workspace without billing access, you can still view and collaborate in shared workspaces, but you won't be able to create new ones. All right, so let's talk about the steps to creating a workspace. Assuming you have access to a Terra billing project, it's a very straightforward process. First, you'll need to navigate to the Terra Workspaces page at the link indicated on the screen. And from there, you'll see a plus sign in the top left corner. This is the Create a New Workspace option. Click this and a pop-up will appear. In this pop-up, you'll want to enter the following details: workspace name, billing project, and a description, which is optional, but helpful to add important details about this workspace. What you enter in the description will be populated to the workspace's dashboard. There will be other information requested regarding bucket location, security, and authorization domain settings. I'd recommend keeping these set to default unless you have a more thorough understanding of each of these features. We'll add Terra documentation for each of these options in the description below. And with this information, you'll be prompted to create the workspace. And that's all there is to it. So let's hop into a Terra environment to demo this process. Okay, so here we are in my Workspaces tab. I got here after logging into Terra with my Google credentials. From here, you can see a Create a New Workspace option in the top left corner. If I click that, here's the pop-up. So first, let's pick a workspace name. And we can pretend that I'm making myself a testing workspace. So I'll call it Kevin Sandbox to indicate that this will be a workspace meant for exploration rather than standardized analysis. And from there, I'll select the Terra billing project that I have access to. And I can also add a small description. Let's just say Kevin's testing workspace for exploring new workflows and data types. And I'll keep these other options for bucket location, security monitoring, and authorization domains default for now. And so with this, I can simply click Create Workspace. And that's it. Here's my new workspace. And you can see here that the description I used to create the workspace has been populated to my dashboard. Beyond that, in Terra, you also have an option to clone an existing workspace. So instead of creating a workspace from scratch, you can clone an existing one, which maintains the same dashboard content, data tables, and imported workflows. This helps to save time when creating a new workspace that is meant for similar analysis, and also ensures consistency across related workspaces. Note that because it is a new workspace, the job history will be blank in the cloned workspace. And to clone a workspace, it will essentially be the same process, though rather than selecting Create a New Workspace on the Workspaces tab, you can instead click the menu to the right of the workspace you'd like to clone and select Clone. So let's hop back into Terra to demonstrate this. Okay, so here we are back at our Workspaces page after logging in. And let's say that I'd like to clone this Best Practices demo workspace. To do so, I can click the menu to the right and select Clone. From here, you can see that a similar menu appears. And by default, the word copy is added to the workspace name. Let's keep everything default and simply select Clone Workspace. And that's it. Here is my cloned Terra workspace. And you can see in here that I have the same dashboard info, data tables, and workflows from the original workspace. All of this helping to save time on workspace setup. All right, so here are a few key takeaways when thinking about creating workspaces in Terra. First, you must be a member of a Terra billing project to create a workspace. Once you've gained access to a Terra billing project, be sure to plan out the workspace purpose, workflow needs, and accessibility. With this, you can create a clear and descriptive workspace name to improve organization and convey some of these details. Last, consider cloning an existing workspace when reusing workflows, data tables, and dashboards. And that's it for now. We hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one.